Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the free hour. Once again, it's me, it's your boy Trevor Turner. We're back with another video in our mindfulness series. Our mindfulness series last week, we did A, we did awareness. This one is B, is for breathing. Did you know that something as simple as your breath can transform your mind and your body? So for this video, we're going to talk about the importance of mindful breathing, how it benefits mental and physical health, and I'm going to introduce you to a couple different practical breathing techniques to incorporate into your daily life. This is going to be a real simple video, man, but this video is going to be something that you can go ahead and do throughout the day to help you to be mindful of what's going on within your body and help you to be mindful of what's going on up here. Just simply by breathing, simply by taking that step back and breathing. So when we talk about mindful breathing is the practice of paying close attention to your breath. It's just that simple. Noticing each inhale, noticing each exhale, bringing your focus back to the breath whenever your mind wanders. It's just as simple about noticing and feeling the way the breath feels going in the nose, the way it feels going down through your windpipe in your throat, the way your body feels when it spreads open when you're breathing in, the way your diaphragm moves, the way your stomach expands, and the way everything kind of collapses in on itself as you're breathing out. The way the breath feels as it's coming out through your throat, coming out of your mouth. It's about focusing on that breath, latching onto that breath, instead of latching onto those thoughts, instead of latching onto those emotions. And this actually kind of feeds more into what we were talking about with our B video for emotional balance, because a lot of these breathing techniques are going to help you to achieve and maintain that emotional balance. And we talk about the importance of breathing. Breathing is a foundational element of pretty much all mindfulness practices. And mindful breathing serves as an anchor. It helps us stay present and it helps us stay centered. Because one of the things that we can do is we can get carried away by our thoughts. We can get carried away by our thoughts, and our thoughts many times are going to be a reflection of worries about the future, a reflection of regrets about the past, or a reflection of trying to escape the present moment, resistance to the present moment. Sometimes our thoughts are going to be hopeful. Sometimes our thoughts are going to be optimistic. Sometimes our thoughts are going to be visualizations of what it is that we want to become in the future. But when we are having those other thoughts, when we are having those thoughts that are worries, anxieties, when we are having those thoughts that are regrets, when we are having those thoughts, it's like, damn, I should have said this, or I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have done that. Breathing helps us not to be carried away by those thoughts. It helps us not to get trapped in those thoughts. And it gives us something else to latch onto. And of course, we talk about Jon Kabat-Zinn. We've talked about him in a lot of these videos so far, but his work, which emphasizes breathing as a core practice in mindfulness-based stress reduction programs. It integrates mindful breathing as a key component for stress management and emotional regulation. It's just as simple as this. Whenever you get mad, whenever you get ready to go and people just say, hey man, look, breathe, just breathe. It's because something as simple as breathing can break you out of those mental cycles, can break you out of those emotional cycles and those emotional reactions. So let's talk a little bit about the science behind the mindful breathing before we start to get into some of these different breathing techniques. Mindful breathing affects the body, particularly the autonomic nervous system. Deep, slow breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It leads to relaxation and reduced stress. Dr. Patricia Gerbarg and Dr. Richard Brown are psychiatrists who have extensively studied and published on the therapeutic effects of breathing techniques, particularly in relation to mental health. And they, in their research, talk about the impact of breathing on the nervous system. Their studies found that specific breathing practices can reduce anxiety, improve mood, enhance cognitive function. Something as simple as breathing, something as simple as just taking our breath back, taking that time back, making that gap through mental breathing between stimulus and action. And then mindful breathing, obviously, can improve mental clarity, reduce anxiety, like they just said, and enhance the emotional regulation also. The University of Oxford, world-renowned academic institution known for its rigorous research in various fields, they did a study which found that participants who practiced mindful breathing reported significant reductions in stress and improvements in overall well-being. So we have some anecdotal evidence, we have some scientific evidence backed by research about the importance of something as simple as breath in our daily life. The importance of something as simple as mindful breathing in our daily life. And then 2 more books that I want you guys to check out when it comes to breathing techniques. Eckhart Tolle, obviously. Breathing techniques help you to become the observer of your thoughts. And then what was this other guy's name? Yogi Ramasharaka. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his name. Yogi Ramasharaka, Ramacharaka, The Hindu Yogi Science of Breath. Check those books out when it comes to breathing. But first, let's get into a couple different breathing techniques that you can try throughout your day. The first one, I'm going to talk about diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing, also known as belly breathing. When we talk about diaphragmatic breathing, one of the things that we do is just simply getting us to, and this is one of the ones that came from the Hindu Yogi Science of Breath, is that we're simply getting out of breathing in here. If you just breathe and you notice the way that your body works when you're breathing, if you breathe in your nose and you breathe out of your mouth, one of the things you'll notice is that your chest likes to rise and fall. You like to breathe into here, or at the most breathe into your ribs. One of the things that diaphragmatic breathing does is it engages the diaphragm fully, and that's why they call it belly breathing. So one of the things you do is that when you're breathing in through your nose, you just simply let it fill your belly first. And obviously you still saw my chest go up and down. You still saw my shoulders go up and down. But I filled the belly first and was able to actually get more breath by allowing my diaphragm to activate. By going in, letting the belly out, and then the chest, and then the shoulders. And then when you breathe out, chest and shoulders first, and then belly. Simply doing that one, not having to do any counting, not having to do any focusing on anything else except allowing your belly to go, is one of the easiest ways to promote some relaxation, especially when you're going through emotional turmoil. This is one of the things you can do anytime throughout the day, but especially when you're having things that are going on that are causing you to have emotional reaction that you do not like. So the second one we're going to talk about box breathing. Box breathing is a technique to calm the mind and increase focus. And this method, used by the Navy SEALs, involves inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding the breath again for a 4-count pattern. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lead you through this one. We're going to do it 2 times. So like they said, you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds. You exhale for 4 seconds, and you hold again for 4 seconds. And we're going to repeat this 2 times, okay? So we're going to start in 4, 3, 2. And when you're first starting to do that one, if you're somebody who doesn't have a good control on their breath, throughout your daily activities, that is going to be a little bit difficult to do. It's going to be a little bit difficult, and the more difficult one is going to be actually exhaling all that breath within that 4 seconds. It's going to feel like you're trying to blow out so much. And then obviously inhaling and making sure you're doing the belly breathing, making sure you're getting all of that air in for the 4 seconds. It's going to make you yawn. It's going to make you feel a little bit lightheaded. But one of the things that it's also going to do is going to relax you. It's going to calm your mind. And it's also going to kind of give you a little bit of a slap to the brain. It's going to make you feel a little bit more focused. So the next one we're going to talk about our 4-7-8 breathing ritual, our breathing technique. And this one is particularly effective for reducing anxiety and also helping with sleep. So this is how it works. You inhale for 4 seconds, just like last time. Hold for 7, and then exhale for 8. So this one is going to be a little bit more difficult, but we're going to get into it. If you can't do the whole 7 or the whole 8, just try to do it, but don't try to do it to the point where you feel like you're losing your vision or feel like you're going to pass out or anything. Just do what it is that you can, okay? So we're going to start in 4, 3, 2. All right, we're going to go through it one more time. And one of the things also too, when you're trying to do these exercises, it's a little bit easier if you're standing up, because when you're sitting down, you're putting a lot of pressure on your diaphragm. That's why it's a little bit harder for me to inhale for the whole 4 seconds. But I'm gonna try and sit up straighter and do a little bit different, okay? Let's do it one more time. Let's go. And that one actually does feel really good. That one does really calm you down. That one does really kind of make you feel just like, it took me out of a lot of my different thoughts, honestly. Like, I had to look back at my outline, like, where was I at this video? Did I have another thing to do, or could I just turn it off and go to sleep? That one was actually one that was really calming. I really enjoyed that one. That's easier if you're laying down, though. Easier if you're laying down or standing up, like I said before. When you're sitting in a chair or when you're sitting somewhere, you're putting pressure on here, especially, you know, like you're heavy up top like I am. So it's a little bit difficult. All right. So now we've gone over a couple of different breathing exercises, and let's just talk about a couple different ways to integrate those into your daily life. One, you got a morning breathing ritual. I suggest that you start your day with mindful breathing practice. It sets a calm and focused tone for the day. One of the things that I do is I do my body scan meditation for when I first wake up. I do my body scan meditation. My body scan meditation takes me out of my thoughts and allows me to program my brain the way that I want to program my brain. So like I do the whole savers, like in The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. So I do my silence. And one of the ways that I incorporate my silence is to silence my thoughts by doing a body scan with mindful breathing. I don't necessarily do the counting techniques, but I do the one where I'm doing my belly breathing. I'm very conscious of how the breath feels coming in. I'm very conscious of how the breath feels coming out. And I feel like I'm breathing into different parts of my body as I'm doing the body scan meditation. So that way I'm able to take myself out of my thoughts. And then immediately after that, once I've silenced those thoughts and once I've become an observer of my thoughts, is now I start to feed myself, you know, gratitude. I start to feed myself positive affirmations. I start to feed myself visualizations of the things that I'm going to do successfully through the day. I start to feed myself visualizations of things I'm going to do successfully through my life. You know, and I start to feed myself visualizations of good things and not visualizations of bad things. Anxiety just becomes like something that I just do not deal with when I am constantly and consistently and mindful of my breathing and mindful of the things that I have going on. Because when you're going through those things where you're visualizing just all these bad and negative things, excuse me, damn, the last breathing exercise got me. I'm not going to edit that out either. But it just helps to where anxiety becomes a thing that, even though it's something that I have had to deal with for as long as I can remember, it becomes less of a thing. Like, it's still there, but it becomes less of a thing with these breathing exercises. And then obviously the breathing breaks. Take short breathing breaks throughout the day, especially during stressful moments or when transitioning between tasks. And one of the things that I would do is I would recommend setting reminders for it, just to pause, take a few mindful breaths during busy work days. So now, if you do not have clear-cut times where you're switching gears or going on to new tasks or moving on to new things, like if you haven't started to batch yet, or if you haven't started to get your time blocking and things like that, one of the things is that you can do is just set an alarm. Set an alarm that tells you, okay, do a 4x4x4 or whatever, a 4x4, the box breathing real quick. Do that twice. Do a 4-7-8. Do some belly breathing. And then after you do that, you continue to get back to your day. And one of the things that you can do this with, the reason that I suggest doing the timers is because you're not going to remember to breathe every time you get into your anxiety moments. You're not going to remember to breathe every time you get into those moments of worry, or you get into those moments of doubt, or you get into those moments of reduced mental clarity, because you're in reduced mental clarity, you're in your feelings. But I guarantee you, if you're going through a day and you're just having one of those days where the anxiety is just really kicking your ass, and your phone goes off and you see it and you get to that point where you can just, it's time to breathe, and you breathe, even though you weren't able to remember to do it while you were having the issues, it will immensely help you with those issues. And it's something that you can't miss. And then obviously mindful breathing before sleep. Obviously that 4-7-8, they suggest it for going to sleep. Breathing is a good nightly wind down routine. And it's not like a cheat. It's not like a cheat code. It's not like you can be scrolling your phone and then just, lock it, do a breathing technique, and you're immediately going to go to sleep. Breathing is the beginning of your wind down period. The breathing exercise is the beginning of your wind down period. It is where you get out of your thoughts for the day. And if you aren't just super tired, you're not necessarily going to immediately go to sleep right away, but it is going to get you in the frame of mind to where you can get to sleep. All right. And then, we've talked about also overcoming the common challenges. One of the common challenges is discomfort, or doing the breathing. Do shorter sessions. Do a 2x2x2x2. Do a 2, 3.5, 4 instead of the 4-7-8, right? Just do your shorter sessions and then gradually increase the duration as comfort improves. Also, maintaining focus on your breath might be a little bit difficult. So what I would say is just this, is build off the awareness part. Come back to your breath when you realize that your mind is going, without judgment, without saying, damn, like, why can't I do this? What's wrong with me? Why can't I just get on this mode? Why can't I? Because you don't do it all the time. It's brand new. It's not going to be, a lot of this stuff is not going to be super easy, or else you probably wouldn't be watching the video on it. All right. And then of course, incorporating breathing into your busy schedule. My best suggestion is, if you haven't started the time blocks or you haven't started your batching, just set your alarms. But once you start to actually set your time blocks and your batches throughout the day about what it is that you're going to do, you just, at the end or beginning of a routine or of a batch or of a scheduled activity, you do a breathing exercise. It'll help you switch tacks. It'll help you come down off the high of that flow state and just help you get into the new thing and help start a new flow state for your new work. All right? So that's been breathing. It's part of the Mindfulness series. We talked about the science behind it. We've talked about the importance of it, some practical techniques, and how to integrate it into our daily life. All right? Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is our anchor. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video. Comment on it. Comment some of your breathing techniques that you do so we can learn some more from you. Share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching The Free Hour. It's your boy Tree, Trevor Turner. Deuces.